Hi, welcome to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and this is my second attempt at recording the Booktube Journey Tag. The Booktube Journey Tag was created by Katie J. Lumsden, and I was tagged by Gina Stanyer. I'm having a cup of tea, it's yerba mate, and I'm ready to get started. Please no coughing, please no coughing. Okay, question number 1. How long have you been watching Booktube? I've been watching Booktube since 2015. At that time, I was starting to read a little bit more voraciously, and I really wanted to engage with other readers, and that's how I came to Booktube, mostly for book reviews. Question number 2. How long have you been making Booktube videos? I recorded and posted my first Booktube video on January 25th, 2023. So a year and a couple of months ago. What made you start making videos? So I was really interested in engaging with the booktube community. So I would watch a lot of booktube videos. I would watch a lot of content creators talk about books and have fun. And I always kind of felt like the Little Mermaid, like I want to be where the people are. I want to be where the people are talking about books and having fun and making friends. And so I kind of felt like the Little Mermaid in that sense, just wanting to be a part of your world. And I finally decided, I have a lot of ideas. There are things that I want to talk about. There are things that I want to talk about in relation to books and reading. And I have interests I like the intersection of food and drink and books and reading. And so I just thought I might as well create a booktube channel because it was really hard to join a conversation, especially for tag videos or response videos or anything like that. If there's a conversation happening, it's really hard to engage in as much depth as a subscriber commenting on somebody's video. And I never felt like lightly connected to the content creator when I would comment, but I never felt like there was any friendship really developing. It was just more like a, hey, thank you for your comment. But, nothing ever really meaningful, I guess. And so I thought if I want to make friends and make connections with people, I might as well just start a video, start a channel and post videos and see if there's anybody out there that is interested in what I have to say, So I was brave and I put myself out there. Question number 4, are there any people who have played a significant role in your booktube journey? Yeah. So I, of course, was watching MJ at Reading This Life, and MJ is a huge supporter of Support Small Booktube and creativity and engaging in community. And so through her Support Small Booktube videos, and sometimes she would have lives, and I would join those lives sometimes just to kind of dip my foot in to see, are these conversations that I want to be a part of? And then I liked engaging with MJ's community on Discord and through her channel, so she inspired me. Also, I kind of felt like maybe I was too old initially to join BookTube, but then I started connecting with and watching other content creators who were in my peer group, maybe my age or older, and then kind of got over that age as a factor for starting a BookTube channel. So that was when I posted my first video. I immediately went to MJ's Discord because she was such a influence and inspiration. So I went to her Discord and let her know, posted my video just to let her know that I had posted a video. And I initially got a wave of subscribers through her Discord channel through that post. And then I started having a lot of technical difficulties because there's a learning curve on YouTube and BookTube. And so I would record a video and then I couldn't figure out the audio. Like there'd be a video, there was no audio. I'd spend time reading and like really preparing and trying to like record a video, and then it would take ages to upload. And then like there'd be a glitch. I had trouble editing. I couldn't figure things out. So along came my Booktube fairy godmother, Gina Stanyer, and she posted a video at that time when I was struggling. I was seriously thinking, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to quit. I'm going to delete my posts and I'm just going to like erase everything and like forget about it. But then Gina posted that she, was really encouraging. She was talking about being on Booktube. And she was really encouraging and saying like, if you want to be a part of this community, like just, giving advice and very generous with like, reach out to me and I want to support you, and like that very like caring, kind, loving manner as she is. She is just like the kindest, most like supportive person. And so I reached out to her and I just told her like, hey, I started a channel and I'm basically, I kind of like told her like, I'm kind of at my wit's end. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't figure things out. I don't have any audio to my videos. I don't know what's going on. I'm having trouble editing. Do you have any recommendations? Excuse me. So she was very supportive, just, told me like, you'll figure things out. It takes time. Like just, like she's like, I'm going to let people know about your channel and you can do this. And maybe she advised me, like try again, do the Booktube newbie tag and try again. And so I did. I followed her advice. I figured out what was happening with my audio because that was like the biggest issue. And then I was able to work that out. And then I recorded the Booktube newbie tag. I posted that thanks to Gina's advice. And then I got another wave of followers through Gina and her like support of my channel. And then I inserted myself into a tag conversation. So Mark at Book Time with Elvis posted a "That's Such a Corker" or that's what a corker video, and Steve Donahue weaponized it, made it a tag. No one tagged me because I was pretty much invisible. But I inserted myself into the conversation and I decided I'm going to do this because I read this book and I just want to talk about it. And this is a great opportunity to share a book that I'm like absolutely in love with. So I posted a video inspired, like kind of like adjacent to Mark's video about what a corker, and tagged him and let him know that I had, done that. And they were super supportive and they shared my video, and that was like a huge thing to me. Like that meant the world to me. And to Mark, it might have been just like a simple like, click of a button just to share and meant nothing. But to me, it like meant the world because they are a channel that I admired and like they're like up here, right? Like I just like love their channel, and I think that they're so smart, and I love the way they talk about books and just how they engage with the community. So now I'm fangirling over Mark's channel at A Book Time with Elvis, but it meant the world to me. So I was really grateful. And thanks to their share of like my video, I got another wave of subscribers. Are you kind of seeing yourself? Like at what point did you come into my channel? Was it with MJ? Was it with Gina? Or was it with Mark? Well, then along came Melinda. And Melinda from A Web of Stories was my first buddy reading partner on Booktube. Like once I was like, okay. So when I was talking to Gina, I had like one foot out the door. And then when Mark shared my content, that was huge and it meant everything to me. And then at that point, I was like, it's so validating, right? To like have him share, to have him to share my content. So then I felt like, okay, I'm here to stay. Like, let me bring my other foot in and like be all in at that point. So then once I was all in, once things, the technical things were starting to like work out, and along came Melinda. And we had our first buddy reading with, in December of this last year. It was Lillian. Lillian Bucksfish Takes a Walk. And that was our first buddy read. It was fun. It was good. And then we've had two other buddy reads since. We had one in February for Symphony of Secrets by Brendan Slocum, and then we had a more recent one in the month of, is it March or April? My goodness, time just flown. I think it was April because March was the horrific like spring break experience. If you watch Melinda's channel, you know about her spring break experience. So we read Death Comes to the Archbishop by Willa Cather in April. And it seems like it was so long ago, but it was just a few weeks ago. But that was a lot of fun. And so Melinda, just through our buddy reading, she'll like share in her videos that she's buddy reading with me. And then I think some other people have found me through her channel, and then she shouted me out a couple of times in her videos. She's given me like on the spot book recommendations in her videos, and she's also just commenting a lot. Like every video I make, I know she'll watch because she'll comment. And I always think, if something were to like happen and I were to disappear from Booktube, Gina and Melinda would be the first to know something was wrong, because I think that they are like, I think that they're kind of aware. They're aware of my existence, and my channel's existence is like more so than anybody else I think that maybe watches my channel. So that's why they're significant and important to me. And I'm grateful to all of them. Question number 5. What kind of books do you like to read? I like to read literary fiction. I like to read genre fiction. In terms of genre fiction, I enjoy science fiction, fantasy, horror, mystery, romance. Question number 6. How has that changed since you started on Booktube? So when I first started watching Booktube, I was watching more for like literary fiction videos. So that was like initially. Then in like just before, in the maybe 6 months to a year before I started my channel, so like during the pandemic in like 2022, 2023, I started watching more niche like booktubers. So like Criminali, for example, I came across through MJ, and he has like, pulp horror, crime, thriller, like, he's got a niche. And I think MJ also she's reads very widely, but she also kind of has a niche. And I started like just finding people talking about different kinds of books, like more genre fiction. And then I discovered my love for space operas last year during the Week of Weird. And that kind of took me back to my love of science fiction. And I really appreciate that, because as I've started connecting with people on Booktube, they've kind of brought me back to my initial goal, which was to reconnect with my childhood interests. For so long, like I was reading academically, I was reading like more highbrow, more literary, more academic, because, like you kind of get put on that path in like high school and college. And then you just kind of, when you find time, you're picking up the more of the academic and literary fiction books. But I like connecting with my childhood interests because it makes me feel like more connected with myself. So as a young reader, I liked fantasy. And then I still like fantasy. So I feel like I connect with my young, like very young self when I am like loving fantasy. And then when I was like more or less like 5, 6 years old, I was a Star Trek fan. I loved watching Star Trek. And so I started like really being into sci-fi. And I remember in elementary school, one of my favorite books was Aliens for Breakfast. And I loved anything having to do with like aliens or space travel. So that was like in it, like 5 year, 6 year and on. And then as like a 8 to 11 year old age, I was reading Nancy Drew, more like maybe 10 to 12. I was reading like Nancy Drew. And then I started reading a lot of like mystery. And then from the mystery, I started like going to thriller and horror. And I love like Wait Till Helen Comes and Lois Duncan books. Um, I loved ghost stories. Like if there was ever a chance to read a ghost story, I was all about it. Like the paranormal stuff, I really enjoyed as like a tween. And then I once I started like listening to podcasts as an adult, and being on Booktube, I started to like discovering romance as a genre, and so now I like read more romance than I've ever read in my entire life. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the dabbling in all the genres, all of the literature. Excuse me. Question number 7. What kind of videos do you most like to make? I like to make creative videos that feel very original and like fun. I am really struggling with keeping up with the obligatory like TBRs and wrap up videos that are just like over and over and over. Like they feel very like sequential and just very like, I don't know what the word is, but it's just kind of that repetitive, this like very structured. It's really, really structured. I don't like it. I'm a slow reader and I really struggle with like wrap ups because by the time I finish it, like I did some monthly wrap ups, like it sometimes takes me forever to finish a book. Sometimes I finish a book and then if I don't talk about it right away, then weeks later I'm not really going to want to talk about it as much. I'm not going to be as enthusiastic as when I just finished this book and I need someone to talk to. So I'm more likely going to be more engaged, more excited to talk about a book as soon as I finish it rather than to wait. I might lose some of that like excitement. Examples of videos that I've really enjoyed making are like that Prime Meridian book review and that book tag that I created for Mixtape for Amelia. I really, really love that. I think I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then Poetry Readathon, I did a video series for the week and I really enjoyed myself with that. And those were things that I thought about that I did because I was feeling the creativity, like the creative energy for it. And I really enjoy that, like that feel, like that creative urge, like to like create something and like make it available and share with others. Question number 8. How has that changed since you started on Booktube? So like the kinds of videos that I make, when I first started, I was really trying to fit in. When I started Booktube a year ago, I was really, really, really wanting to be a part of this community. Like I said, felt very much like the Little Mermaid. I wanted to be a part of your world. And I wanted to fit in. I wanted to do all the things that all the booktubers did to like create community. And now I've just kind of given up on like the pressure of conforming to the way things are. And like, this is what your kind of like the expectations are for a booktube channel, right? Like that you have these videos that are structured and ongoing, and people like that. And I mean, I like it. I like watching those videos, but I don't feel like as much joy in those structured, consistent videos. So I'm starting to give myself permission to kind of take the road less traveled, or, you know, dance to my own beat, just kind of do my own thing and not worry about fitting into the expectations that I had set on myself, that I thought like, to be a booktube channel, you have to have these things in place. And I'm just kind of like, you know what? I'm gonna try to have fun. And that's all that I need to ask of myself at this point. And then also part of question 8 is, do you think your video making style has changed over time? Yeah, I think maybe I'm a little bit more relaxed. Maybe I'm a little bit more personal and a little bit more vulnerable. I was telling my husband this yesterday that I've been like sharing a little bit more of like personal history and being a little bit more vulnerable in what I share in making these videos. I'm more extroverted, and so he said that's very natural to me. Like, it's who I am. I tend to be open and I tend to talk a lot and share a lot. He tends to be more introverted, more reserved, quiet, keeps to himself, doesn't share a lot about himself. So he said, you know, I wouldn't, but it just comes naturally to you and it's who you are. So it makes sense for me that I would, as like time goes on, I would be more myself, like more vulnerable and like willing to share. Question number 9, do you script or edit your videos? And has that changed over time? I don't script my videos. I do have like for this video, for example, I have the questions and then I just wrote like phrases or just things to trigger my memory so that I could talk about it. So for this question, do you script or edit your videos? Has that changed over time? My answer that I wrote was no/sometimes. So no, I don't script. Do I edit? Sometimes. Sometimes I edit out. I always usually try to add like a thumbnail and a end screen to my videos, and then like that's as much editing as I am like committed to like keep up with. And then sometimes if I have time, I will edit. I will cut things, like for example, for the poetry readathon, that last day of the readathon, I did a creative journaling exercise, and there was a lot of creativity happening. So a lot of silence and a lot of sitting with my creativity alone in the silence. And that's something that I needed to allow myself to do. And I was happy to engage, like to be in the silence, sit in silence with myself and let the creativity kind of do its thing. But to you, as somebody who watches my videos, you may not want like 10 minutes of silence and just watching my hands like journal, you know? So I edited out a lot of chunks of like silence and like wheels turning in my brain. Has that changed over time? Yeah, I think that when I first started, if it wasn't, if I didn't do well, like maybe when I first started, like if all of this coughing was happening, I probably wouldn't record until I was feeling like 100% and my allergies were under control, because I didn't want to have to edit every cough. Sometimes I will try to edit every cough, but sometimes it's just hard, and I mean, I just have to allow myself to, you know, be in the state that I'm in. So like I'm having allergies and I'm going through allergy season right now. And, you know, I started taking my nasal spray again. So hopefully that'll work and I won't have to worry about editing coughing out of my videos. But I do think about it and I do try to cut things out if they are not like helping my video. What's the most viewed video on your channel? So as of yesterday, when I last checked, right, I recorded this tag yesterday and then it failed, right? So before I recorded the video yesterday, I checked and the most watched video on my channel was the Poetry Readathon day number 1. And that was in the video where I shared Ada Limon's poetry. Your favorite video you've ever made? Mixtape for Amelia, for sure. That Mixtape for Amelia original tag video was my favorite, the most fun. I mean, I read that book in March of last year, sat with it for a year, reread the book again a year later, and all that time of the year, I just kept like curating a playlist for Amelia, knowing that I wanted to eventually create a mixtape for her. And that is the most I've ever spent thinking about a character and about that character's like experience, like lived experience in that novel, right? Like what they're going through. And I mean, Amelia is a fictional character in this novella, Prime Meridian by Silvia Moreno Garcia, but there are Amelias out there. There are like, it felt very realistic and very real. And even though it was a bit sci-fi and speculative, the struggles of Amelia, the struggles of Amelia are real. They are. It is very, very much part of real life for some people. And I really like enjoyed like spending my time reflecting on that. Okay. So question number 12 is, do you have a favorite book you read because of Booktube? Yes. So I participated in the Week of Weird last year. I've been participating ever since, but initially I started in March of last year. And I joined the Discord channel for that event. That event is hosted by Crystal at Fiber Artsy and Jason at Jason's Weird Reads. And in that Discord channel, I received not me directly, but someone in that Discord channel recommended Lena Rather's Sisters of the Vast Earth series. Let me take a quick look. No, Sisters of the Vast Black. Sisters of the Vast Black book is book 1. Then book 2 was Sisters of the Forsaken Stars. So I read Sisters of the Vast Black, which is book 1, in March of last year. And then a few months later, I read Sisters of the Forsaken Stars. And I love this series. These are nuns in space in a living aircraft. Super weird, super fun, and kind of showed me how much I love a space opera. So yeah, I am really committed to continuing with that series. Last year for middle grade March, the group read was A Rover Story. Love that book. Last year also for historical fiction readathon, the group read there was Crow Mary by Kathleen Grissom, and I absolutely loved it, like so much. I love that book. Okay, question 13. Do you have a favorite Booktube experience to tell us about? Yes. So Hillary at Book Bustle made an original tag called the Reader's Profile Tag. I was tagged to do that by Melinda at Web Stories, and I did the video recently, like in the last month, I think, a month and a half. And I enjoyed it so much. And the best compliment or feedback that I got was from my husband, who peeked in to the kitchen while I was recording and then afterwards said that he saw me as in my element. He was like, you were super comfortable just cooking and talking about books, and that's what you love to do. And he's like, it was just, you seemed very natural and very like like you were in your element, he said. And that made me feel so good that in real life, my life partner sees me recording a video, which I'm trying something new. I was in my kitchen. I don't usually record in my kitchen. I wanted to mirror Hillary's video because she recorded that video in her kitchen while she was cooking. So I wanted that kind of mirroring. And so I did that, and it was stepping out of my comfort zone. It was going outside of the usual, trying something new, and then getting feedback from my husband, who watched me record the video, that it was very natural, very like in my element is the phrase he used. So I was like, yay, yay. That's what I aspire to do on Booktube, is just try to be myself, and try to have fun and try new things and be courageous. So yay. Thank you, Hillary, for that experience. And then question 14 is, what does your book collection look like? It's spaced out all over my house. I don't have a room for it. I would like to eventually have a little library for all my books inside my house, but that isn't the case just yet. And so it's everywhere. It's every nook and cranny in my house has books. It's mixed, all genres, literary, reference, nonfiction, spiritual, like all of the stuff all over the place. What is your book? Oh, that was question 14. Okay. Question 15 is, what advice would you give to someone new starting a booktube channel? Take it slow, go with the flow, be you, do your thing. Don't try to measure yourself to anybody else's expectations. Don't try so hard to fit in. Just do what you can with what you've got. And if you have trouble, let someone know. Let me know if you have trouble. I mean, I'm still learning. I still haven't figured out how to vlog. I'm still like new to all of this, so I don't have all the answers, but maybe talk to someone, let somebody know, someone with more experience know that you have questions, or people on Booktube tend to be very kind, and everybody's so willing to like offer support and encouragement. So yeah, tell someone, let someone know that you started a channel, and I'm sure that they'll subscribe. I will if you let me know you started a channel. And I think we're all just here for community, so don't be afraid. just do it. Just go with it. Go with your creative energy and flow, and you'll be fine. And tag. I don't know who hasn't done this tag. I know I am late to this party. Let me see. I feel like everyone I know has done this tag. But okay, the last person, I kind of do this as a way to pick because I'm so indecisive and it's so hard, and I overthink this all the time. The last person to comment on a video was Ellen at Ellen Made Book Club. Ellen, if you haven't done this, would you like to do it? I'm going to leave it at that. So Ellen and I are becoming fast friends, and we're planning a buddy read together soon, and this month actually, and I'll talk more about that in a future update. But yeah, she and I have been in communication most recently, and so I'm going to tag her and see if she's not done it and wants to do it. But thank you so much for watching. Hasta la próxima.